Hello, everybody. Well, you did it. You made it to session number 6 of Email Kickstart Mastermind. Thanks to AdThrive. My goodness, I wondered if we ever get here, but it's been an awesome 5 sessions so far. Well, there was probably 4 really good ones and 1 that was okay. You decide which one that was. And then today, oh my goodness, we're going to dive into how to make money with email. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to share a whole bunch of things with you. First of all, I want to congratulate those of you who've launched and are starting to get have some success. We were just chatting. One of the students in here was telling us that she has still got a bunch of other things that she's got to figure out, but she's already getting more subscribers than she ever did, about 3 times what she was getting before, which is, I'd call that a win. And if we can even get better and smarter with that and implement all of the techniques that we've been talking about here, man, well, who knows where that takes us. So let's talk about making money. Anybody actually want to make money with their email today? I'm going to need your eyeballs on this stuff. Okay, we're going to go fast. Ask questions. I'll answer them, and play along with some of the the thought exercises we're going to have here, because that's how we're all going to learn from this. So how do we make money with email? Well, I think before we start there, doesn't it just make sense that I start telling you a little bit more about me and my travels? I think that'd be fun, and you want to hear about my family's travel logs, don't you? So in 2019, my kids are grown and they're venturing out of the nest. We thought it'd be a good time for us to take a visit to Europe, and we went on a long trip. It was 3 weeks, and I said, "Hey, look, gang, we are going to travel light." So we got these backpacks from Peak Design, and I said, everybody gets one of these, and you have to make it all fit in there. So of course, what we used were these compression cubes. And we use these are like magic from, space agencies all over the world use these, where you put your stuff into these pouches, and then you zip them down, and it compresses all your clothes, and you can have your socks and shirts in one, and you can have your unmentionables in another. It keeps you nice and organized. They are life-changing, I agree. And then, of course, there's, quit looking at the pretty vista. Look at my shoes. You see those shoes? Those were Allbirds, and they are 100% organic and natural and saving the planet somehow. But the reason that I was wearing them is because I knew we were going to be, hustling a lot and doing a lot of walking. I wanted the most comfortable shoes that I could get. So I really, really loved my Allbirds for the comfort that I had. And you can just throw them in the wash when you're done, and they come out super clean, real easy. Oh, and lest I forget, let me tell you about my noise canceling headphones, because we were traveling on trains, and more importantly, on long airplane trips. I put those on and the whole world disappears. Okay. So why am I telling you about my travels and my gear here today? Because it was an awesome trip, yes, but because I want to talk to you about the first area I want to talk about is affiliate marketing. I know that this is not some of you, it's not your number one thing, and some of you aren't doing anything with it. But today I want you to think maybe a little differently about it, and how you can use email to diversify your revenue stream with affiliates. So let's talk about this for just real quick. Play along, please play along. This is actually the funnest thing I do for the entire 6 sessions is this right now. So do me a favor. Let's make a list. And I want this to be specific. I want you to list in the chat as many tools as you can. Just brainstorm tools that you can't live without, things that make your life more comfortable or easier and save you time or money, or do the work of many tools, things that make you feel smart. You can tell I felt pretty smart and smug about my recommendations there, didn't I? What makes you feel smart, and products that you just can't stop talking about. And ideally, it'd be related to your business. Okay, let's go. And I'm being serious. I'm just going to stand here and stare at this chat thing until some of you share. It's going to be weird and awkward if we don't. So let's see what you got. I know you have them. I know that you, Nicole, you probably have some very specific tools and devices that you use in the kitchen for your stuff. Karen probably has a special brand of, I don't know, fertilizer or something. I don't know. Something that Lip loves. There's probably something we can't, I'm sure, yes. Okay, so Karen, if she wins, she gets the points for being the first here. She's got a plastic pot scraper. Okay, an Arrow Garden, I don't know what that is. A specific pan for cooking that you can't remember, and you can't live without that specific pan, right? Okay. Type in there, tell me what an Arrow Garden is. I'm curious about that. And so Nicole has a mandolin slicer. Mandolin slicer? I don't know. Is that a brand, or are you actually slicing like those mandolins? I don't know what that is. A Danish dough whisk and an immersion blender. And not just any immersion blender, am I right? There's a particular brand on that immersion blender, isn't there? All right. We've got Silpat, we've got little KitchenAid blender thingy. Yeah, oh, that blender thingy. I think that's the technical term for it. The big stand mixer. There's a great book on candy. Okay, it's a very specific book. A pressure cooker, wonderful. All right, Karen's recommending that. Okay, everybody knows about this mandolin thing, but I don't know what the heck that is. I feel left out. I'm gonna go look this up. Okay, Jennifer's got yarn and crochet hooks and stitch markers. Aren't there specific brands that you use, Jennifer? What are the brands? There've got to be brands. I want to hear what they are. An Arrow Garden is a countertop hydroponic system. Oh, a CHS. Yeah, that's what I should have known that. I love growing stuff on my counter. So usually it's a sandwich that I put right here, and then mold naturally grows on it. Does that count as a CHS? Because, yeah, okay. It's not so intentional, but it's nature doing its thing. All right, Jennifer, I've not heard what the brands of these yarn is. You know, don't leave me hanging here. While Jennifer goes and looks that up, because we all want to know what brand of yarn she uses, I want to just talk about affiliate marketing for a second. Look, there's basically 5 rules that are all the same rule. Why does this stuff matter? Why am I having you do this? Because you, as the owner of your audience, have a responsibility to share. People care about what products you use to make your life easier. All right. As a travel blogger, I'm going to talk about those Peak Design backpacks because they've made my life simple, and I know they'll make my audience's life that fits into my worldview. That person is going to dig it too. So when you're doing this, the whole point is to be helpful, be natural, be honest, be authentic, and be transparent. Okay? You do this anyway. It's just you have not probably done it as much as you can with this. So let's talk about this. What problem do you solve for your readers? And what do you know that they would just love to know? I am fascinated. Are you not fascinated by what some of the other people just mentioned here? And you just went, oh my goodness, I need a Aerosmith, Arrow Garden, or I still don't know what a mandolin is, but I need to have one, right? You're all doing it. We're doing it right here together with people, with a bunch of strangers. Just think about the subject matter expert that you are and what you recommend. Okay, so let's talk about different ways that you can create affiliate ready content. But even before we even talk about email just yet, there's so many different things that you can do. So how does an item make life better? I mentioned this one to you before, but if you're going on a cruise, there's a chance that people get sick in a different country. You slice your foot open on a rock in Jamaica. You miss the boat at Cozumel. Those are big time expenses if that happens, or any other, unforeseen situation. So do you need trip insurance? Probably not, but there's a 17% chance that you could use it. All right, so in my Forever series, I mentioned at the right time about this article related to Disney trip insurance. And this cruise insurance, it has an affiliate offer, and it makes me money every month. People just go and sign up because I'm recommending it, and I am a subject matter expert. All right, so Natasha from Natasha's Kitchen, she teaches people how to use, knives in the kitchen. You bet your bottom dollar she's telling them what knives she likes. Oh, and just my food blogging friends, well, heck, all of us do this, but especially my food bloggers, you do this, that when one of your colleagues or competitors takes the phone and does an Instagram story and starts sharing what's in their kitchen, what's in their kitchen drawer, what's in their fridge, what's in their pantry, we are glued to it. Like, okay, how do they organize? What products are they using? Because we want to make our life easier too. So you can also do this can't live without. Let's say you're getting started in crochet. There's a whole bunch of things that accessories you could go buy, but there's a bunch of stuff you don't need. What is the can't live without these essentials? That's actually kind of like this, a starter kit. There's stuff that you need and what you don't, and you can make that recommendation to people. If you're getting into, or how about if you're sharing what's hot in gardening for 2023? I don't know, stuff changes, new tools come out, and you're doing a lot more of it than they are. And sometimes they just like you. Sometimes you're Oprah and they want to know what you're interested in. Gift guides is another obvious one. By the way, can I give you a little aside here? You'll rank for these. Go make these posts and you'll probably outrank a whole lot of other people. And so not only are you going to get email benefit out of this, not only are you going to get affiliate benefit out of this, you'll probably get SEO and SEO juice and ads out of it. Okay. So I know that I don't think I've got a single deal blog, traditional deal creator on this call, but deal ready content is still super valuable no matter who we are. So this is Merrick. She talks about sewing and fashion, and she shares, she breaks down the semi-annual Nordstrom sale, because guess what? Not everything is actually a deal in that sale. Everything's on sale, but it's not actually a deal. It might have been the same price that it was yesterday, but she goes in there and tells you what's actually a deal. And that's really helpful. Do the same thing at Black Friday. You can do it on sewing machines. You can do it on anything. Amazon Prime Day is another one. You basically are cutting through the noise to provide value. All right, I've just given you just a sliver of ideas of things that you could be doing or putting on your calendar as affiliate events, affiliate worthy ideas. Now, let me give you some specific things you can do to use email technology to drive affiliate sales. And here's a few things. You could add some of this really important affiliate content into either a Kickstart guide or a Forever series. I've talked about Sally's Baking Addiction, right? She's huge. She's fantastic. She's very well known. And guess what? And it's at least in the first 10 of her emails, you'll get her kitchen tools that she can't live without email. That's in the Forever series. And guess what? Takes you to affiliate. Or you could put that in your Kickstart guide. You could put them in the footer. You could create a template specific to your Kickstart guide and put stuff in there. Let's say you're doing a Kickstart guide on air fryer. Well, we'll talk more about that, but you could create a whole bunch of links of your favorite air fryer accessories along with the recipes. Send seasonal broadcasts. This is an obvious one, but around those times, Amazon Prime Day comes out and you've done the research. You know what's hot in the world of candy making? Well, share that. You could also do some interesting things with tags and triggers. This is where automation comes in and you think through your reader's journey. Let's say that somebody, I've got Instant Pot here, but let's say it's air fryer. It doesn't matter. Let's use Instant Pot. So if you're a recipe blogger and you have, you list 5 recipes in a roundup and one of them is Instant Pot, well, you know that person has a specific interest in Instant Pot. If they click on it, you could set a tag. With that tag, it could kick off a sequence. You could call it, 5 days of Instant Pot success. Do you love Instant Pot? Well, we do too. Here's our favorite. And the first one could be about what is the Instant Pot? Which one do you have? And then your favorite recipes will go with it. Day 2 could be about our accessories we can't live without, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you just got to get creative here. You can also do things like add an affiliate content to your template. So Corey was actually from Hey, Let's Make Stuff. She was on one of my calls and I threw this screen up. What she did is she puts this she just modifies her template a little bit seasonally, and she just changes out her affiliate deals at the bottom. It doesn't take away from all the other like Halloween content she had up top, but down below, it's just another little, oh, by the way, I've got these resources. When adding affiliate content links to a template, will it be marked and sent to spam folders? Nope, nope. No worries there. Your spam folders usually has to do with your sender reputation, not because of something, not usually because of something that you put in an email. Your sender reputation is a longer, take a longer view at that. If you've been sending great emails and people engage with those emails, then Gmail and the spam houses are going to assume that people are going to like this one too, that has an affiliate link in it. It's helpful. Now, of course, the natural question a lot of people ask about Amazon affiliate links. No, they don't want you to put direct links. Go read up on their policies, but you can link to your storefront and things like that. But usually in those cases, I'm sending them back to a roundup on my website if I have Amazon affiliate links in there. However, people like Cricket, they don't care. Most people don't care. You just check with your affiliate partner about, can you include a direct link in an email? Usually you can. Cricket loves it. They're like, please, go ahead and give me that link. You could also, let's say you're doing something today. If you want to do something today, again, I'll just stick with the food theme because I think we all universally can understand it. You could make a how to use an Instant Pot series. You could tell everybody, hey, I've got a, beginner's guide to Instant Pot. You'll even the, beginner guide and advanced tricks. And then you let everybody know that you're only going to make it available until the end of February, and it's all about spring Instant Pot, blah, blah, blah. And so then you're going to take it away. And so you give your entire list the opportunity to sign up for it. You put it up as a pop-up on your website, whatever you want to do. Now, when they sign up for that, then it's that series I was talking about before, where here's the Instant Pot you need. This is the one that we have. Guess what? Affiliate links. These are the accessories you need. Guess what? Affiliate links. Along with other valuable content, recipes. Now, is that salesy? Is that spammy? No, if I'm interested in Instant Pot and you know a lot about Instant Pot and you know which accessories to get, I'm going to listen to you. It's helpful. So you could create a launch and do something big there. I'm going to talk about Black Friday specifically because I know a lot about this. I used to run a company that was in the deal space. So Black Friday is a big, big deal, obviously. Your main point here is just cut through the noise for people. Point out real deals. And don't get cute on your subject lines because everybody and their dog is sending more emails at this time, right? So be as on the nose and interesting as possible. So 10 best crochet deals of Black Friday, or some variant of that. Just so people, because if you're interested in the topic, because remember what's going to be happening, Office Depot has sent this, and Banana Republic has sent this one, and Walmart and Amazon and Target, and they're all sending more emails, and then yours is going to be sitting in there. It's just going to say, we found them. 10 best crochet deals. It's like you did a service. It might make sense because of that for you to increase the number of emails that you send. It's actually, you're not going to believe me, but it's actually okay. Your audience is going to be fine with it because what are they doing at that time? Like I said, they're getting inundated with more emails. They're just doing more bulk deletes. It's okay. Now, you might also go partner with a brand. I can tell you that we did at that company I was telling you about, even though we were a small bootstrap company and we could not compete on Black Friday with the budgets of Target and Walmart and Amazon, my boss still expected increased results at Black Friday. Everybody does. Because you're a failure if you don't. So go to a brand and build on your partnership and say, tell you what, I will do X, Y, and Z in exchange for, and now I don't know exactly what that might be. It might be increased commission. It might be a special code that is a special deal for your audience. But we had a big part. This is part of why I love affiliate, is because I've seen that side of it too, as from the brand side. Our best affiliate partners were the ones that we could talk with and have this conversation. And we'd say, hey, if I give you this, can you do that? And they'll say, sure, I'll do this, and you give me this, and we'll try it out and we'll see how this goes. It was a partnership. You have probably the clout on certain brands to make that happen. If you sell your own stuff, this is probably the best time of the year to discount your own stuff. I don't love it, but if you're going to do it, you get penalized from the brand heavens. The perception of discounting your product is minimized a little bit just because everybody expects super deals at this time. And then this is my favorite subject line of all time. I may have mentioned this already. I've tested this more than any other subject line over the last 25 years. You can use it in so many scenarios, but imagine that it's Black Friday. It's at the end of the day, and you get an email that says, "Did you miss it? 10 best DIY deals of Black Friday." You're like, "Oh no, what were they?" It works. It just works. All right. Any questions about affiliate? Obviously, I spent probably more time than you want to on affiliate. But even my biggest clients, where it's just a fraction of their revenue streams, when they're like really big with AdThrive, you know, they have figured this out. Use email marketing automation to drop this stuff in. Like that Forever series on week 13, it was paying for the cost of my list every single month. I didn't have to worry about the cost of ConvertKit because of trip insurance. That wasn't making me rich exactly, but it was certainly helping my overall business goals, and it was helping my audience at the same time. That's affiliate. Let's move on. Okay, so how many of y'all sell something? Okay, down in the chat, will you let me know what you sell? Okay, we've got courses and live classes. Okay, excellent. And a cookbook. And we have digital PDFs, ad-free printable patterns. Yeah, I have a lot of, I've had a lot of great success with people in the craft space, Jennifer, using email to grow big and then selling a lot of those. So that's great. Anything else out there that people are doing? Let me know. There's a ton of things that you can sell. Some of them have been mentioned here, but video series, conferences, membership groups, autograph books, et cetera, here's an example of one of those. This was Ryan from The Tiny Life. He's selling things like how to build a tiny house. Look, it's a digital ebook. It's 39 bucks. If you're going to spend the money to build a tiny house, this might save you hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of dollars by following this. We've got, you know, Mama Bulls. She sells meal plans. Cassidy from Succulents and Sunshine. By the way, if you want to see this in action, see somebody do something pretty well in action, it's not so much exactly the emails that she sends, but my suggestion would be go sign up for Cassidy's, even if you don't have a succulent, go sign up for her free, whatever her free thing is today on her website. I don't even know what it is. And see how she transitions you from a free offer, free quick start guide, into a paid. It's very smooth and it feels natural as the client and the customer. Again, I'm not promoting her product per se. I'm not saying that the emails are written perfectly. They're not. I'm not saying they're not, but the main point is see how that flow takes place. How does she do that? So she's a good one. If you want to watch somebody that sells digital products all the time, so my chaffling friends, you probably already know about Maya, but Wholesome Yum does a great job of selling her her recipes in ebook form. Okay. Some of these people have just got it dialed in and you just need to go watch what they do. So today, I'm not really going to give you exact specific things to do, but I'm going to tell you the general concepts that are followed to use email to sell stuff. Okay, 1 month Christmas calendar. Well, that's cool. Advent calendar, sweet, and membership site. All right, good. I think this applies to most of that. All right, now before I go too far, I want to share something with you that is not email related, but man, I believe in this. I have learned this in my life many, many times in my business career. And you and I share something in common here. The thing is that, don't take this the wrong way, but we're virtually unknown. In the world of branding, when you think about Martha Stewart or somebody like that. We are little newcomers. This right here, this is Kimberly from Sweet Red Poppy. So I was working with Kimberly and her husband Josh on their strategy, and we did a bunch of great things together and had some great success. And I said to her, I said, hey, look, will you just do me a favor and hold up your phone and at some point do a little video testimonial for me? And I gave her some guidelines about what to do. Well, she's a craft blogger, and she has a studio and she films craft videos all the time. So when the camera crew was there and the lights were on, her makeup was on, she filmed a 90-second video where she shared, hey, everybody, this is what life was like before working with Matt. This is what life is like after working with Matt. And by the way, we've made over $200,000 using his technique since we finished. She gave a very specific dollar amount, which was, look, I can't pay for that, right? That 90 seconds that I can share with people is so powerful. Why? Because in this space where I'm an unknown, and I don't spend any money on Facebook ads or billboards on the highway or Times Square, you trust Kimberly. Why did you come to this? Because AdThrive trusts me. Why did I actually get a gig with AdThrive? You want to know how? Because of people like Kimberly. So because of that, trust is earned. Now, but when it's earned, those testimonials are super powerful. So for any one of these things that you sell, and I know it sounds a little weird. Do I need a testimonial for my courses or my live classes or for my digital PDFs or for my cookbook? Yes. Amazon reviews have proved that. This is not a new concept, but it's one that you and I include myself in there, do not take advantage of. One last little rah-rah here. This thing right here, this is a third-party endorsement of my course, Email on Autopilot. It's on Trustpilot. I can't fake these. In fact, there's a 1-star on there that drives me insane because it has nothing to do with my course. It's clearly somebody thought I was somebody else and came in and just ripped it. It has nothing to do with me, and I can't get them to remove it. Anyway, I guess it just proves you're not right for everybody. So this right here gives you very real people. So this is one from, I don't know, she just 3 days ago. I worked with Sarah last month. She gives you some real insight. Here's Gareth. Gareth was in our mastermind in January. Okay, so he shared this. And then Matthew was in January's mastermind. He shared that. And here you can go through and find out, what did they actually think? Was it worth our time? And when it actually gives you very specifics, right? After just 2 weeks, I now have an opt-in that converts 5 times previous rates and a clear understanding how to drive that by another 10x. Okay, that's huge. So go get them. Because why am I telling you this as an email guy? Because if you want your emails to land, if you want them to hit and to sell, it's not the copy. It's not the sales copy that you use. You can't persuade or convince people when they don't know who you are. There's no trust. This builds trust faster than anything else. You got the point? There's things you can do with email, by the way, here. If you're selling other products, you could actually set up some triggers, a sequence that waits a few days after somebody buys something and then straight up asks them to review it. Gives you a testimonial. You can, anyway, you get it. So I believe that here's a few things that can help with any launch. Testimonials, reviews, offer a guarantee. You know, I used to be concerned about my money back guarantee. Like, people are going to go take my content because there's nothing protectable about what I've been telling you. Y'all know that, right? It's just like, this is Matt's way of doing things, and he can't protect it. But if it doesn't work for you, if you spend $500 on my course, how terrible would it be if somebody goes out there and badmouths me? it has an even worse effect than these. It's like, I think it's like 10 times the impact a bad review has on a good review, right? So just give a money back guarantee. No biggie. If it wasn't right for you, I'm just going to give you your money back, especially when we're selling digital stuff, right? Make it scarce, make it go away, make the time that, the countdown timer eventually hit 0 so that people have to take action. Also, it's really nice when you're doing a launch to give something extra, whatever that may be, an added value. Partner with somebody else. We'll talk about that in just a second. Oh, would you recommend using a service like Trustpilot for reviews or collect them on your website? Yes, and yes, and yes, all of that. Yeah. The thing about Trustpilot, in my case, because I don't have, I can link to it with the widget. It's a third-party endorsement, and people know that I can't really fake that. I was also looking at it from a SEO perspective. Where else, if somebody Googles me, am I going to show up? It won't just be on my website. I'll also show up, because I think that happens. I know it happens. Matt Mullen email course. So I want them to see my website, and I want them to see 4.8 out of 5 stars from Trustpilot right there. It's just another validation. Before we go too far, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I have to show you this. Sorry that a lot of this isn't even about email, but it is. I want to tell you about this this company here called Truvani. Maybe some of you use them. And I'm going to drop this into the chat. We won't spend too much time on this, but this chocolate protein powder, I think, is a fantastic example of how to do a sales page. And I share this in these sessions because many of us are coming at blogging or content creation not from an e-commerce background, but we still want to get into selling something. So here's a couple of practical models that we can look at. Let's dissect this really quick. If you have ever done protein powder, like I have, you know that when you're buying it, the very first thing that you think about is, how does it taste? We're assuming it's going to have good quality ingredients. We're assuming that it's got the amount of protein that I need for my macros. Yes, I will look at that stuff, but the most important thing is it can't taste like chalk. It's got to taste good. I'm going to eat this every day. So what do these people do? So they got this protein powder, and then fall in love with the amazing taste. The taste is great. How does it taste so good? They've highlighted that thing as the thing. It's so delicious. You've got to try it. It's so good. Ingredients, natural ingredients, blends well, satisfied for an hour. Satisfies your sweet tooth, no weird aftertaste, blends perfectly into everything. You think they figured out what the main thing people worry about with protein powder is? What is it for you? What is the main thing for you? In my world, most people want to grow their subscribers. As you can see, I talk about all sorts of things, from this to single versus double opt-in versus GDPR laws and pop-ups and forever series and on and on and on. But the thing that people want is to start growing their list. So I talk about that. I will say something like, Annalie, in joining my course, she had 1 subscriber every day, and now she has 1.3. She has really exploded. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to be talking about. You should too. The other thing, notice reviews everywhere, from people that look like real people. Amanda looks real, like a verified customer. Here we've got whoever this is. She looks like she's just hanging out and holding up her phone. This person, she's at her stairs. All right. Now this one is the founder, so of course they've got a more produced headshot. But then you go, look at this, verified customer, tastes like brownie batter. Review. And then we skip down here. More reviews again. Look, more reviews. There's the guarantee I talked about. Here they've got every single question you could ever think of under the sun, which is really smart. Just answer them. Think of every possible question that somebody might have about your product and answer them. It could be that they're like, this is so expensive. Well, the answer might be, well, actually, if you apply the cost of what he would do instead, it would cost you $8 billion compared to my system, right? Whatever. Or, yeah, it's maybe expensive. Like in my case, my consulting, I'm not going to apologize for it. My consulting is not for everyone. It's expensive. It's for people who have established businesses and not the people who are just getting started. If you're just getting started, go buy the course. Does that make sense? We explain who we are. And again, here's all those reviews, so many. All right, hope that helps one of you. And then of course the sales copywriting, you're just go borrow what they're doing. You'll get some ideas for your landing page. Okay, here's a standard email funnel. I am not saying that you have to send every one of these emails when you do an email launch, but you could, and I sometimes do. But I'm going to show the elements that factor into most common sales funnels. You've seen these before, and the reason that you've seen these before is that, and I didn't invent these, it's just these kind of work, and that's why you see it over and over again. Now, I recognize the first, once you get into, you're gonna say, there's a lot of emails, I'm gonna overwhelm my customers. I'm gonna show you how to avoid that overwhelm here in just a second, so follow me. So email number one could be, it's optional, but you could start with something like, what's your biggest struggle with X? What's your biggest struggle with crocheting? Is it the needle? Is it the hook? Is it the yarn? Is it the projects? Let me know what your biggest struggle is with crochet. And then hopefully you get some stuff back. And then maybe the next day or shortly thereafter, it's like, wow, I heard you. You're struggling with this. Trust me, I understand. And that's why I created this product. And then you do the opposite of what Matt Mullen normally does, which is his super short emails. He makes a big long emails, where you explain everything that you've got. What is this thing? Because they may not click through. So I want to explain it in that email. Now, these next three are ideas of, they're not necessarily in order, but emails that you can send during the week to encourage people to purchase. One of them might be a deep dive into the most prominent feature. Like in the case of the protein powder, they may just send an email that's all about the taste. In my case, I might just send one email that's all about how big your list is going to grow, because they know that that's what most people are interested in. Share as many case studies as you possibly can. These don't have to be pretty emails, but you take an email and you just testimonial. Take screenshots from your Facebook Messenger and what people said, comments that they said on Instagram and what they said on your Amazon store, and you copy and paste those in and make this big long email. Another one could be that you do what I was talking about with the FAQs. Just say, okay, maybe you're on the fence about buying, how to be as awesome as Ava product. Well, here's the reasons that you might be hesitant. Here's the questions I get. Why isn't it in pink? I don't know. We haven't done pink yet. Just answer the questions in the email. And then here's where you'll make most of your money, is on these last emails. I'm not saying you do 3 on the final day, but you could. And I often do, but at least do 1. It ends today. It's going away. You let them know that the scarcity is happening. If you want to do a second email, maybe you do it. Okay, we're closing up shop in 6 hours. Here's what Karen says about it. She thinks it's great. You can cut up your mandolins with this thing and your aerospace. It all works together. You'll love it. And then your last chance, 1 hour left. Don't miss it. It's a real short email, just 1 hour left. Now, some of you are going to feel a little squirmy about this one. So don't do it if you don't like it, but it works. Is that the very next day, after it's been over, it's like, oh, we've extended it 1 more day. I feel even weird just saying it, but you'll get another 25% of sales. I'm not kidding. So it's just because people had intentions and they missed all the emails, and then they go, oh, shoot, they really mean it now. And then they purchase. If you don't have testimonials, do you make them up? No, you probably don't want to invent testimonials, but you can do other things like seed the product with friends, give it to people that you know. Come back to the Facebook group and give every one of us one of your products and ask us to say something about it. And hopefully we'll say nice things. And then you publish the nice things. You got to do the work. It's hard. That's why most people don't do it, because it's a little uncomfortable to ask. But you got to do the work. So if you are thinking that was a lot of emails, I was too. So give them an option to get out of that at any given time. Up high, don't hide it. Say something like, not on day 1 or day 2, but maybe on the 3rd email, you say, if you're absolutely sure that you don't need the secrets to being as awesome as Ava, click here to, and I won't send you any more emails about it. And then what that happens is that you set a tag, something like mute, Ava offer. And then what that does is you exclude people who have that tag on every other email in the sequence. That's a little technical, but when you get to that point and you're struggling, let me know, because I can help you there. But it's just something in your platform. It's a link trigger that sets a tag. That's all. So give them an option to opt out. Okay, this is another thing that I know a lot about. I did this a lot. There's only a few things that I know a lot about. Taylor Swift songs, fantasy football, and this probably. Those are probably the three things. That is to create a promo calendar. And again, I'm just sharing this because most people are coming at this business without the benefit of marketing, a lot of marketing experience. Okay, this is a very common tool. It's not complicated, but most people just skip it. All right, so if you're going to sell something, we talked about it, the desired elements of a launch, scarcity and urgency is a big part of that. So when I was at the Daily Deal website, we were competing with Groupon and people like that. We weren't really competing. We were too tiny to be competing. But for our audience to pay any attention, we had to come up with promotions that made it feel like, because every day we had deals. We sent 3 emails a day with deals. So when I wanted a spike, what was special? Well, we had to come up with a promo calendar. So here's what you can do, is you just grab your little notebook, your notebook and your favorite pen, and you go out to the park and you just go January through December, and you go January, February, March, April, May, and then you take each product and you say, when are the logical times when people would really need this and benefit most from it? And does it make sense for me to do a promotion at that time? Again, you're not doing it every month, but you might do something for Black Friday. If you've got a healthy eating meal plan, you might do that in January. There's natural times when people are doing this stuff. Maybe, if you're about to launch or if you got a whole bunch of different patterns that are better for fall, put them all together and sell it as one fall package. And then it goes away. It's gonna go away. How do you make it so it's not just discounts? Well, add something that bumps in the value. All right, everybody who signs up for my membership this month is going to get a special half hour with me, where we're going to do a Facebook Live and we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to show you a deep dive into achieving success. That's happening this month, and that's only for new members to my membership stuff right now. Okay, so add in something that bumps up the value. It could be a bonus pattern. It could be a few extra recipes that you don't normally include, that are seasonal. I don't know. Other things you can do is you can just change up the theme or the title to fit the content for the season. For example, I've done this a handful of times. My course is called Email on Autopilot. Oh, by the way, let me go back to here. One thing I've done with the Email on Autopilot when I've tried to sell, when I want a little bump in sales of it, I have a bunch of people that are on my list that never bought it. And so I tell them, I'm doing a mini mastermind with everybody who buys it in the month of February. And then I do something similar to this. It's not as long, it's not as in depth, but it's like 1 or 2 sessions, and it gets them going. So they feel that it didn't cost me anything more other than my time to go do this again. Change the theme, going back to Email on Autopilot. What I've done is in the past, I've said, okay, this version is for Instagrammers, and I'm going to cater my remarks to growing your list specifically for people who are big on Instagram. It's still all the same stuff. It's just I'm changing a module or 2 specifically for Instagrammers. Partnership. Now, this might be where you got those digital PDFs. I don't know, Jennifer, maybe you reach out to Kimberly at Sweet Red Poppy and say, hey, you want to bundle stuff? Your product and my product, we'll do a big promotion, and we'll figure out how to share it and blah, blah, blah. That makes it special. That makes it different. That's a reason to mention it. You might do discounts, but I suggest using that sparingly. A good time, though, if you're going to discount stuff or do other promotions, is anytime you're introducing a new product, because you can get away with, you can release introductory pricing, and people will feel like, I got to get in on this with the introductory price. And then you can do it end of life. All right, I'm closing this down. This is your last chance. If you ever want to get it, you'll never see it again. You can get it for 50% off right now. Of course, you could re-release the new version of it next year. That's a little bit different somehow. Okay, so this is messaging that you can use to create a promotional calendar. Tripwires, retargeting. Yeah, if you have a big list, you can then use those email addresses to do really smart retargeting ads on YouTube and Google and Facebook and Instagram and all of them. Okay, so custom audiences are a real thing, and if you're good at this, then having a bigger list that is retargeted, and that's where the segmentation also helps. I'm not going to spend any time on that. That's for people that are, really getting serious about this. All right. Does anybody on this? I'm going to switch gears. If you have any questions about the, how to sell stuff, let me know. Hopefully, that gave you a few pieces of ideas that you can do. Does anybody do sponsored posts or have sponsorships with brands? If you do, would you let me know? I know that some people hate it because it's complicated. It feels like a hassle, especially for us content creators, where you got somebody breathing down your neck to have something done on deadline or done a certain way. Are those the mixed feelings, Nicole, that I'm talking about? Does that kind of summarize it a little bit? Yeah, I feel that too. Now, however, they can be done, and I think there's more people considering it now with the changes that are happening in the industry right now. They're looking at, or with the RPMs being down, people are looking at other ways to keep their revenues high. So email, just to start with, most brands aren't that familiar with doing email sponsorships. They're not. It's not a normal. I mean, there are some. Those are the people that are awesome, and they get really good at it. But having a big list is really valuable. If you think about how they are otherwise advertising, it's kind of hope and a prayer that your audience might see it on Instagram or Facebook. But with email, I can send it to the target audience, and there's a dang good chance they will see it. It's not just a hope and a prayer that they swing on by to check it out. Have in the past, but have stopped. I usually contact the business about partnering as opposed to doing random promotions for business. Yes, I love that, Karen. We'll talk about that in just a second. I feel the same way about that. First of all, your email should be a value add to your overall sponsorship package. Okay, this is probably basics, but the email itself should have its own standalone value. Whether or not you ever intend to sell it as a standalone, it doesn't matter. You need to figure out, how do I value this? Because now that has a value, a sponsorship on your website has a value, and so forth. Then you can bundle those things together, and your overall perceived value goes up. Also, you can just sometimes sell this standalone. Here's an idea. If you have had a sponsor that likes you, and you're not used to doing this, you can do something called I just call it an email power boost. It's a kind of a silly name, but the gist of it is that you identify a successful post that you did with a sponsor, and you go back to them and say, remember that such and such that we did that you loved, that got great results? Well, tell you what, I will reinvigorate it with an email power boost. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send 3 emails, 1 email per month for the next 3 months. That's going to be slightly different content, but each one of them is going to drive them back to that sponsored post we did together. Then what you do is you creatively come up with different ways to talk about it. Let's say that you did a sponsorship for white bread, your white bread recipe with Fleischmann's yeast. And you go to Fleischmann's and say, here's what they're going to be. Email number 1 is going to be, remember that smell of baked bread when you were a kid? Okay, so you're sending them to the white bread recipe. Number 2 might be the perfect avocado toast. Well, you can't have the perfect avocado toast without the perfect white bread. And email number 3 might be my favorite project to teach my youngster how to bake. 3 different ways to talk about the exact same thing. And then you point to the same link and you go say, that'll be 20% or 25% of whatever the original sponsorship was. You want to try it? Okay, so that's only for a handful of you, but I've had some clients do that with great success as a way to dip their toe into the water. Now, you can also do sponsored quick start guides. So you select a topic that's going to solve a real problem for a lot of people. I had one of my, now this blogger is huge. She had she did a package of sponsorships with a massive grocery chain during the summer. And one of the things that she threw in there was a quick start guide. I love it because the quick start guide was something she was probably going to do anyway, but she got them to sponsor it. And it was something like, you know, such and such name's guide to summer produce. And then in it, they had mentions of the grocery chain, had links to these sponsored recipes that the grocery chain had paid for. The blogger gets the new subscriber, they get new recipes, everybody wins. And so this seasonality was a good choice. It allowed her to not run it forever. So it puts a time limit on it with that particular brand. And she invited her existing subscribers to go through it. So super cool. Now, ongoing sponsored emails. These are the ones, the people like Karen and others that you're partnering with, and you come up with something that works for everybody. I've had great relationships over the years with certain brands. There's some people that we just work well together. They get me and I get them. And I bet that you have a handful of them too. Those are the folks that if the price is right, and you can figure that out if you're willing to work with a partner. If the price is right, you can create a promotional schedule for promoting their stuff. Okay, it's not that complicated. It just, once you do a couple of them and you take the spirit of partnership, this allows them on their side to manage their budget. They know what's coming when. You give them good insight as to how it's working. Oh, before that, you give them a preview so that they can check on it. They want to feel like they've got some control over this as well. There are some brands that are super tight about control. Maybe you don't want to work with them, but others will, they'll learn to trust you after the first several emails. And they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I like how you're doing it. I like what we did in the past. Let's keep going. Let's go. And as long as it's giving the stats that they want, and you give them the stats, keep giving it to them. I've been on that other side. Okay, those people are the ones that are going to get my loyalty and my brand and my budget. If it stinks, you do make goods. Emails are inexpensive to send. Send another one. Give them a little extra. And then other thoughts here. Be organized with this process. And if they don't have a budget and what you want to work with them, do it for free. It costs you very little. Or do it for an affiliate deal to start with. But let them know that you're working towards a sponsorship partnership. But just be a partner, I guess is what I'm saying. If you get smart about this, this can be a regular, easy, additional revenue stream. Last note on this, don't rely on your management or agencies or whatever to figure this out for you. I'm not saying this about everybody or every agency, but most of them don't know nothing about email. And so when they think about sponsorships and whatnot, that paradigm doesn't apply. What we just talked about was kind of creative, wasn't it? And you have to understand your list and your audience. If I partnered with the American Standard on a post about how to install a toilet, I go to them and say, yeah, if they were happy. Were they happy? So you just go back to it, because the worst happens is they say no, or that price is wrong. You know, let's say it's 15%. You'd still probably do it, you know, whatever. And so you go back to them. It costs you nothing to, you know, to bang out 3 quick emails in the way that I just described. And for them, it's just more targeted eyeballs onto. Now, obviously, it's better when you have a bigger list. So the bigger your list, the more you're gonna be able to charge. That's one of the things that you're going to ask me is how much to charge for this stuff, and I don't know. It's kind of what can you get. So I would probably pick something like whatever your current, you know, maybe your CPMs are $30 on your website. Maybe you double it because email's more valuable. I don't know. You got to come up with something that's kind of fair and something that you can measure. But I know at the beginning we're just going like this, right? We're just, I don't know. You just try some stuff, and then you might You might shoot too high and for the small brand, and you might shoot too low for the big brand. You'll figure it out. Won't know until you start trying it. Look, I have run out of time. I did not get to any of the stuff, the other stuff that I was going to talk to you about. Let me see if there was anything. Oh, I guess I'll get to these. If you're thinking about marketing, you're thinking about selling. I mentioned this because many of my clients, they don't like selling. It's not what they got into business for. But don't be afraid to sell something. Why? Because your stuff is awesome. You did not get to this AdThrive point by being an accident. Okay, you have some legit content or subject matter expertise, and so don't devalue it. Don't apologize for selling your stuff. Your free stuff is great. If you have something to sell, my guess is that it's probably even better, and better could be just way more convenient. It could just be, some people just take their existing stuff, package it up in a more convenient format, and that's okay. And then the other piece here is that try stuff, but don't waste too much time on stuff that just isn't working. Okay, go fast, break stuff is my advice. Here's a couple last marketing messages. Get the value proposition right. What does that mean? That means, what problem are you solving for that subscriber, for that potential customer? One of the great regrets of my business life, I started a company with a couple of partners, and we thought we could run that company from our desks. We had reps that were out there trying to do the business, and we could not understand why they couldn't get sales. They couldn't get breakthroughs, but we were trying to run it from our desk. We weren't out there doing it. We did not prove the concept. We did not get the value proposition right. We did not figure out the right levers to pull for those products. Once we started going out and doing the sales ourselves, we realized we didn't have it right, and it was too late. The company was doomed by that time. We'd lost the momentum in our runway. So get your value proposition right. You spend a lot of time on your business card, on your logo, on this, on that. But what are the words that they use? That's another reason why the testimonials are so powerful. They tell you the words that matter to them. And you're maybe looking at it with some slightly different lens. And then promote it regularly, constantly. Come up with a schedule for this. Get organized. Build out that promotional calendar that I was talking about. Get those testimonials. And a last little tip here is, these are not mandatory, but you'll do better if you can focus on commercial intent. How does your product either make money or save money for somebody? Okay, just a couple of closing tips there. Look, we've reached that point where we sign each other's yearbooks, and we promise to stay in touch over the summer, and then I'll see you on Facebook, that kind of stuff. We've gotten to that point. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope that you've learned at least one thing that's been worth your time to spend these 6 sessions together. It's been awesome to get to know you and to get to know your businesses a little bit. A couple of quick things to just kind of close up. If this has been helpful to you, do you and me a favor and let them know at AdThrive. They paid real money for this. And they're really good people that care. My experience has been that they're good people. I've been a fly on the wall in some of their meetings, and I really like their ethos as a company. They are investing in your future. And if they invested in email, what else might they invest in for you? So letting them know that it was helpful and worth their dollars, I think, is always a good idea. It helps me too. Helps me too. If you want to help me out, if you thought this was helpful, feel free and go leave me a review at that Trustpilot place. It certainly would not hurt my feelings if you did so. I'll drop that in here. If you weren't dazzled by this, then let me know how I can make it up to you. I'd love to make it right. If you have anything you need in the future, matt@emailcrush.com. I'm going to leave the Facebook groups open, and the Facebook group open, and you can continue to post your stuff there, and we'll rock it. But yeah, if you have any questions, stick around. I'm happy to answer any of them, but I look forward to meeting you all in person someday at an AdThrive event. Wouldn't that be awesome? Who knows? Maybe those will be coming soon. But wish you all the absolute best. Go crush it. All right. Take care, everybody. If you have questions, unmute and let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to stand here and look off into the distance. kind of weird.
Dear Matt, but thank you for the course. It was great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. All right. Goodbye, everybody.